Hi, thanks for joining me today for this Insights video. This is Shona, and today I have a cute little story that holds with it, I think, a couple of big truths or inspirations that maybe can help us out as adults. Actually, this comes from an event or a situation that my two sons, who are now in their mid-20s, when they were in elementary school. I figure my oldest was probably about 8 or 9 at the time, which means his little brother was about 5 or 6 at the time. So, just to give a little bit of background before I share this gem that I have, we had been reading through the book of Proverbs, me and my little boys, and I just was reading through them just very simply and trying to, if a verse came up that shared an experience that I could translate into their like their elementary school lives, well, I did it. So anyway, so one day we had read it, and this event happened the next day. So I ended up for the that evening. I was on the phone talking to my mom, I believe, who was lived out of state, and my oldest son, who was 8 or 9 at the time, came in the kitchen a couple times and kind of looked at me. And you could tell he was a little bit exasperated, but he didn't interrupt me because I kind of kept, waving him off as us moms will do at times when we're in the middle of a phone conversation. So, anyway, I was probably on the phone longer than I should have been with the boys, maybe 30 minutes or something. Well, after I hung up the phone, my oldest walked in and he handed me these little pieces of paper. And I'm going to read them to you, which I don't know. Surely my little one wasn't this pesky as is recorded on these pieces of paper, but maybe you'll get a smile and just giggle like I did. So, anyway, this is what my son handed me. Mooned me 5 times. So he's talking about what his little brother had been doing to him while I was on the phone. Hit me with a rifle 1 time, or 1X is how he has it, which I'm sure it was just a toy rifle. We don't have loose rifles in the house. Stole my shoe. Spanked me with an elephant. I'm sure it must have been a stuffed elephant. Stole my quarter. Stole my gun out of my hands, smacked me upside the head 3x, which is 3 times. Looked in on me when I was trying to go to the bathroom. 1x. Blew a spit-covered balloon and hit me in the face. 1x. Kicked me I don't know how many times, but at least 9 or more. Hit me in the head with gun 3x. Probably a Nerf gun or one of those little like shooter holster things that you have, back then. And this is what I love. He finished out his little note with this. I quote, "Being slow to anger is better than conquering a whole city." That was from Proverbs 16, verse I don't know. So here it is. I hope there we go. I know it's coming up backwards on the video, but isn't that just the most precious thing? My little one being so pesky, but my older one, really, his mind going back to what we had read out of Proverbs the night before. Now, the full verse of Proverbs reads, it's Proverbs 16:32. He didn't know what verse it was, but he remembered verse 16. It says, "Patience is better than power, and controlling one's temper than capturing a city." So let me read again what he put on here. I quote, "Being slow to anger is better than conquering a whole city." And that just did my heart well. I couldn't help but chuckle at it. Kids do the funniest things. But what a great lesson that ended up being. And my son, my oldest one, he's grown up, and when he encounters people or situations that could easily make him angry, he does have a way of keeping it lighthearted, turning it around where he can diffuse a situation with maybe kind words or a sense of humor, instead of becoming angry. My little one, well, he was quite the tart growing up, but he's grown up to be, a fine young man as well. But you know, these moments are precious, and I keep these notes in a special little box by my on my nightstand or inside of my nightstand because it's just really precious. Shows me how God can work. And so the inspiration that maybe we can draw from this little story, I came up with 3 ways of information and I just jotted them down. Well, first of all, maybe we can find inspiration from my little one who drew from the pages of the Bible and made them come alive in his actions. I mean, we're talking an 8 or 9 year old little boy actually made the pages of the Bible come alive with how he dealt with his pesky little brother that night. Number 2, maybe we can see the importance of planting even the most simple seeds in our kids. It doesn't have to be grand. We don't have to be theologians to understand it. My son, just from me sitting down, reading, and making Proverbs, as practical as I could to 2 little boys, came up with this and exercised patience. And instead of retaliating against his little brother, he acted with patience. And I just think that's precious. And then lastly, maybe the inspiration you can draw from this, maybe what you need today is the patience. The patience that a little 8 or 9 year old boy displayed to his pesky little brother who mooned him and looked in on him in the bathroom, stole his quarter, hit him with an elephant. Those things, yes, those are precious stories, but you know what? Those precious stories can really translate into great and powerful lessons and truths in us adults. So, anyway, that's just my insight today, and it just comes from reading my 2 little boys' Proverbs. So, anyway, I hope you'll join me next time when we do another Insights video. If you have anything to share or comment, I ask, feel free to leave a comment here on the YouTube page. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.